So, we're here as often as we can be, but we do try to cover a lot of ground. We had these meetings probably every 3 months, but due to everything that's going on, we canceled for pretty much most of this year. I think this is our first time of the year. The purpose of this meeting really is to field your complaints, your local complaints, concerns, comments, stuff that's going on in the neighborhood. So we're going to try to keep it to that instead of everything broader that's going on right now. But my name is Joe Esposito. I've been here 15 years at the 114 precinct. Me and Keith have been partners for 3 years now doing this program. Keith's been on the job 17 years. He's come on from over 8 years. So again, thank you all for coming. But if you're not comfortable speaking out on your issue, give your information, reach out to us privately. We also have sheets that you can just fill out here, and we'll contact you at a later date. But anybody would like to speak or feel their comment, concern now?
Well, does everybody is everybody familiar with the NCO program?
No.
No?
No, this is my first time.
Well, Joe and I, we're assigned a sector. The precinct is split up into 4 different sectors.
Mm-hmm.
We label it Adam, Boy, Charlie, and David.
Right.
We're David. So like you said, our boundaries are 21st Street to Roosevelt Island, including Roosevelt Island, from the park to the bridge.
Okay.
So we handle this sector. We have like housing that we cover, so it is a busy sector. But the good thing about the program is that we get to handle the long-term problems. So you can email us, you can call us, text us, whatever's easy for you.
Okay.
And the other part of the program is when you made constant complaints, you would always get a new cop. A new face would show, explain your story over and over and over and over. Now you're seeing the same faces over and over. Like this is your steady sector that would work on the 4012, the 412 shit behind you. But that's the good thing of the program. Now you don't have to explain yourself over and over.
Gotcha.
Now you know which face, who's going to be coming over. So.
And like you said, we can give you more time than the guys who are answering the radio calls can.
Right.
They'll come immediately for your concern that day, but if it's something that's prolonged or needs a little more time than that, that's what we're for. We don't have to answer the radio like that, so we have time, whether it be from our office and email, or we can come out on the street as well. We're on the street every day.
Right.
And we could spend more time with you.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's kind of the benefit of the program.
I know a few of you. I'm Sharon Berman. I live in Island House. I came specifically because I'm hearing impaired, and I was hoping that the department would provide ADA accommodation. They didn't, but these guys have been really nice and respectful and listened to me. Now I have a better understanding of what it's like to be hearing impaired. But you need to understand, all of you, because I know people don't talk about it enough, is that I'm sitting here and politely looking like I'm listening, but I have no idea what you said. You could have been talking about playing golf or whatever. I have no idea. I assume you weren't talking about golf, we're talking about the community. And I'm grateful, I'm really grateful that I had a chance to come here and maybe give you a little bit of information about what it's like to have a disability that is considered invisible, okay? If you walked in, past me on the street, you have no idea of a serious disability. I do. What I'm hoping is that at some point, the technical equipment which is available, which makes it possible for people who are hearing impaired, that it will be used commonly. I'll just make this one last comment. This might surprise you, but in Europe, everybody, every place you go, they have the kind of equipment that people need. I don't know if any of you have been to Europe and have noticed it, but it's true. When people go to Europe for hearing impaired, they come back, and it's always what they talk about. Here, no. So thank you very much. very much, and if I leave it's because if I sit here, I'll just try to look polite, but I have no idea what you're saying, okay?
Thank you.
But thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Sure.
Is Roosevelt Island really as safe as we all think it is? I mean, the
It's-
crime level seems to really be low here.
It's actually the safest in probably New York City.
So this really
The
is a
five
safe
boroughs,
place to live.
this.
Very safe, yes.
That's nice to know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's certainly, it's something we found, my wife and I, we've been out at it for now 11 years. And it's the one thing that we brag about to our friends who don't live here, it's the safest part of New York City.
Yeah.
At least it has appeared that way. I'm glad to know that statistically it bears it out. I have like 5 quick things.
Sure.
First of all, regarding my grandchildren, I'm the grandfather of the little girl who was almost knocked over in the playground last week by a bike rider
Okay.
at one of those playgrounds. The bike rider apparently hit my daughter's cart and dropped it over, and our granddaughter ended up with her face in the ground.
Okay.
Thank God she had the straps on her, so she wasn't really hurt. She had a big bump. Could have been a disaster. So my wife, in particular, asked me to ask you guys if there was some way that we could put barriers, some kind of barriers around those places where there were really little kids, like where so that this type of thing won't happen. Seems like a pretty simple thing to do, some sort of, concrete thing that would prevent a rider from getting that close.
Right.
But that's just something I hope could be somehow arranged.
Yeah, well, we can talk to PSD and we can get all involved with REAP. And REAP would have to make the ultimate decision if they're gonna put that in the park area. But that's something we're gonna talk to them about.
Okay. Second thing, parking spots. I have a car, just bought a car, and parking spots in the garage, as you know, are pretty limited. What I've noticed though in the last week is that people are parking. I don't have a reserved spot. I'm one of the ones that people who has a cheap spot.
Right.
But as a result, I've been noticing that there are people who park in places that are clearly marked as not legal.
Right.
And I just went over there today and I asked the lady, what's up with that? Does that mean anybody can park there as long as there's not somebody impeding somebody else from moving around? They said, public safety people have to go over there and give them a ticket. And I said, well, the chances of that happening are probably zilch. So I don't know if you're aware of that as a problem, but now I'm going all the way up the parking garage to find a place because there are so many cars in there right now that they're taking up these other spots.
Right.
Is there a policy about that? Is there something that one can do? Or is it just going to be, sort of...
It really isn't up to the parking over there. As
Yeah.
far as summoning, PSD would take care of that. This is a rough time for everybody. They got hit pretty hard by COVID. A few officers did get really sick. They actually lost a couple. One for Jones. It's a rough time for everybody. As far as getting over there, it's a big island and they're a small department. So, it takes a while to go over and handle some jobs. But we'll talk to them. We'll see what the actual legality is with summoning the vehicles.
But that is the policy, right? It is their responsibility to give the tickets to the parents?
They do most of the enforcement that way on the island. I'm not sure if that's private, that parking garage. I never really looked into that before. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. But that's something we have to look into.
I guess I want to fall to the temptation myself of doing that because it's a lot easier to just get a spot on the 5th floor instead of the 8th floor, especially with construction. Another quickie, U-turns on the island. That's one of the big things that's always been one of the dangerous things. I do notice that, but I also notice that there are a lot of times when people are not doing anything about it. They just sort of throw their hands off it. But it seems to me that when there are security people here with walkie-talkies or whatever other devices they have, they can easily signal to one another, or should be able to do it more easily, because there are some people who do some really crazy things in the middle of the street here.
Right.
With construction and all
I just started working here on October 21st of last year. Where I worked the 3 to 11 shift. Just to say first about the double park, about the illegal U-turns. All of the officers that are eligible for summons, we have officers out there on Main Street that they do write illegal U-turns. Okay, we're out there, we're enforcing it. We are writing summonses. Also, we have a condition with bicyclists on the sidewalk and bicyclists going through the stop signs. We're issuing summonses for both of those violations. Bikes on the sidewalks, bikes going through the stop signs. We're issuing summonses. Also, with the, you mentioned the motor gate, we do every hour, we assign a unit to go do a directed, basically a vertical patrol from the first floor all the way to the top. And we notice if we witness any kind of violations, we do summons. So we summons, once again, we summons the parking condition in the garage. We do the, any kind of illegal U-turns. We do bikes on the sidewalk. Bikes, we're having an issue with bicyclists going through stop signs, almost hitting pedestrians. It's a big issue here. So we're out there, we're trying to correct it, and a lot of people don't understand, like a lot of people don't know that basically you're riding a bicycle and you have to stop, just like a vehicle, just like a car, you have to stop at the stop sign. And we're out there, we are out there preventing, putting this to stop, putting a stop to this. My career, I retired from NYPD. I'm a former 114 sergeant. I worked with the 114 for 10 years. So I have a very good background, track record of law enforcement. That's why I'm also here for that, also provide, proper guidance. So we're here, we're taking care of all these different kind of situations. I walk the island myself. If anybody has any kind of issues, whether it's a noise complaint, I'll go there myself. I enjoy this. This is it's in my blood. I like to continue to public service.
That's great.
So I'm here. And if anybody has any kind of issues, come speak to me after. I'm more than willing. I would love to help anybody. So if you want to see me afterwards, I can give you all my information, and we could, we'll go
Okay,
from there.
last thing, I also live in my own house, and you know that it's always an issue to park your car in front there and unload. It's not really difficult, obviously, with the construction and all that. Everybody understands that this is a crazy time. I get that, so I'm not going to berate anybody for any of this. You guys are doing a fabulous job. But it does seem to me that it's almost impossible now to find a spot because first of all, there are those spots in front that are specifically authorized vehicles only, and then you have fire hydrants, and then you have, basically cars that are constantly competing for the rest of the spots. So almost every time I come back here from the hospital or whatever, try to just unload them, I almost always have to say the same things to the same people who come over to me and say, sure, you can't park here, sure, you can't do it. But you have to, and I know you have a policy for us that's been in place now for a while.
Right.
To allow us to do those things.
Right.
But I guess my only concern or issue is,
Yes.
can you maybe just reinforce that for the new people? Because I do see a lot of younger
Yes.
security people, right, who I think maybe aren't fully aware of that.
Absolutely. We're getting a lot of new people also. We have new officers. We're putting the training out there. We do have that loading zone. Unfortunately, also with Roosevelt Island, we do have a limited amount of parking. We do have a lot of vehicles coming onto the island. There's people that do, when they want to unload, for example, they have like a lot of things in their vehicles. They do come to us, they ask permission. We work with the community, we work with everybody. We want everybody to be happy.
They're very nice.
So, people come and they ask permission, can we give them, grant them permission? So we're here for the community, and, we're just trying to make sure you know, everybody is also following the law.
Okay, great. That's it. I get enough time.
Hi, thanks for coming. And I've seen you guys, you know, for ages here, so I really appreciate the continuity, because really knowing the island makes a world of difference, you know, and you guys have the right finesse, you know, in terms of understanding stuff. So I just want to leverage the bicycle issue, because it's not just here, it also goes off onto the other side of the bridge. So most of the time I'm a motorist. I use the city bike too, but most of the time I'm a motorist. The bicycle traffic on Vernon, okay, really is not aware of the traffic situation that's next to them. And I've seen a lot of near misses where people are going, let's say, high speed, okay, oblivious to there's someone making a left turn. They come in, you know, and then there's almost a collision. I haven't seen any, but I'm saying there's enough near misses where I would say that. The other thing, and then this is more for the public safety side, is, and I know the cyclists there's a whole issue with cyclists and using, you know, the helix, you know, and the ramp there, but they really come off that high speed, and also the motorbikes that I see, the e-bikes or whatever it's called, you know, the delivery bikes, no lights, nighttime, no lights as a motorist, you know, that's something, and I see that outside of Roosevelt Island, that's off, you know, also in the story. And then the last thing I want to say is on the, with the whole open restaurants thing where they build out into the streets, not a problem on Roosevelt Island, but definitely a problem on Broadway and 30th Avenue, and Steinway and Broadway are really bad. I don't know how far you guys go out on that, but Broadway's bad, 30th Avenue's bad, you know, and the problem is that for a while, early on, it just was, you couldn't even drive through Steinway. It took 10 minutes to go about 100 feet. And I think it's all sort of a cat and mouse game now, which is unfortunate. But this restaurant, you know, you do enforcement, state liquor authority comes in and does whatever, and then it moves to somewhere else, because I see the crowds, you know, going to different places. Anyway, it's something that, as I said, I'm a motorist, so I drive through all of this on the way, you know, here. I will say one thing that greatly improved since over the past couple of years is the off-ramp on the 31st Street Hoyt thing on Grand Central, and I got the separate lane. It's not a traffic jam, and you know they've seen the finesse that was a couple of years ago was really bad right by you guys.
Hi, I live on the other side over by 10th Street and 34th Avenue. There's a few complaints that I have, and Rainy Park is a disaster. In the evening, on the weekends especially, I'll take my dog out for a walk, and we walk by there. And you have the amount of people that are coming out of there. Forget about, not even to mention the garbage that's all left all over the place. But you have visibly intoxicated people coming out and getting into their cars. That's a big thing. I mean, that is a big problem. You know, again, I understand that not everybody has a backyard and they want to barbecue and whatnot, but besides the garbage, the amount of people that are leaving that park at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening that are packing up and getting into their cars and they are intoxicated is beyond. And again, I've seen it myself just because I walk my dog along that route almost every night. Also, the noise problem in the neighborhood. We have, some neighbors and myself have made frequent complaints about a particular house that literally blasts the music like a rock concert from maybe 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and as it gets later, the music gets louder. And this goes on till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. 4 to 5 days a week. We've called 311, we've emailed DEP, we've called DEP. I mean, if you were to list, if I were to give you the address and you were to see the list of complaints just for that address in the past, say maybe 6 weeks, there's probably 2 dozen complaints.
10th Street and 34th Avenue, you said?
The address is 3366 11th Street. I'm on 10th Street.
I understand.
So I'm on the other side, and I can hear the music clearly. And besides the fact that sometimes there's 30 people there, 40 people there, sometimes it's a small group, but there's also little children there. 3, 4, 5 years old, however old they are. It's insane. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's insane. It's to the, like, there are nights that my husband and I cannot sit in our own backyard and have a conversation. We cannot hear each other. It's crazy. And again, everybody has the right to barbecue and have a good time and whatnot, but what's excessive is excessive.
Sure.
Especially when you have to go to work the next day, and this is going on Sunday night until 4 in the morning.
Yep.
And listen, thank you, you guys are having a hard time right now. I understand that, and there are people that appreciate what you do, and there are other priorities besides the noise complaint. So by the time sometimes somebody from the precinct gets there, they don't get there till maybe 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. By that time, sometimes they have turned down the music, but sometimes they haven't. And I know you have other priorities such as the shootings that have been going on in the neighborhood. Like the 4 shootings that have been within a 5-block radius of my house last weekend. I just, you know, if there's another direction that the neighbors and I can go with this particular house. We've called the landlord doesn't pick up the phone. I don't know if he's getting citations for the noise, but it's really unbearable. It's really
That's
unbearable.
something Joe and I can look into.
Yeah.
We have the address now and
We'll follow up.
It's-
Left your information.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. But besides that, really, that's my biggest issue. And Rainy Park, and the bikes, of course, the cyclists riding all over the place on the sidewalk or whatever.
What time is the Rainy Park?
Rainy Park, it's most of the time the problems are on the weekend. So you figure, like, if you were to go there Friday night, 9, 10 o'clock, Saturday night around there, even Sunday nights,
Okay.
that's when you'll see.
I would just add to that, it's on the order of like 7 to 10 o'clock. Yeah, right. I've noticed the same thing.
Yeah.
Ben?
That note, we're here for a similar issue. And thank you for doing that, officer. Just for email correspondence, and I appreciate that. But, we live right across the street from Alex Field Playground, about Ferry stuff in Astoria. And I just moved there about a month ago. And so many nights, I would say about the same, like 4 nights out of the week, we don't get sleep because there's literally like a 12 going on at the playground. And it says, on the Parks Department side, you don't have to buy sound, but there's a speaker like this side, subwoofer, and the bass, it's all concrete between us and that, so it's just like, again, you guys are trying to have more of like a hands-on approach, and that, all of that makes sense to me. I understand there's a lot going on in the city and the country right now. I don't know what the solution is, but like, I think maybe it starts with just awareness that like, people are losing so much sleep to loud parties in public places, and when the law is that they're not supposed to be any amplified sound in those places, I guess I don't understand how so much amplified sound until 4 a.m. to 3 a.m. on like Tuesday, Wednesday, slips through the cracks and continues to happen. So I guess it's an ongoing thing, it's a long-term thing. I'm already talking about the matches, like I said, but anything you guys can do, just like doing work every day and our mental health is seriously suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look into it. Anything else? Any other?
Also, right next to where you reported the, on 12th Street, in the evening, so I come home from work, I work, in the evenings, I come home. You got the bakery there, that just sort of ties up all of 12th Avenue, and it just makes it hard to pass. I'm sure there's a way they can rearrange the truck so that, there's enough room anyway should be enough room for 2 lanes of traffic, one going each.
That's the one across the street from
The bagel place?
by Ravenwood.
Right, between 34 and 35, right.
All right.
So I'm told by people that live in Roosevelt Landings that for years there's been a problem on the Queens Promenade of people smoking weed and drinking and loud music all hours of the night, and they've been complaining forever. And it's been worse during this summer, and they don't see anything happening with people, trying to stop it. So I was just wondering if you guys were aware of that issue and if anything's being done.
On the Queen side,
On the Queens Promenade behind Roosevelt Landings
right.
and in the breezeways.
No, but we haven't heard it, but, I mean, it's something that I can look into.
I say like for years, and it's just worse now.
Behind the like 510?
Yeah,
510,
Eastwood, behind, yeah, 560, 580, that's, people always complaining,
Joe, I can look into it.
always complaining about that.
Usually work with PSD also, so we'll do something with them.
Right. Does PSD notice anything about that in that
We're
area?
out there, we're patrolling. If we see anything, we take, action against it.
Have you seen that? I mean, are people imagining this, or have you seen this happening? Have you seen this occurring over the last,
Not recently, no.
not recently? Okay.
I've seen it. I was a couple of days ago driving by with, in fact, a public safety officer. I could smell it as I was driving.
And just also on the bike issue, you were talking about sidewalks and people not stopping at signs. There's also a lot of people that are going against the one-way traffic, by the subway on the West Promenade.
And we have officers there too, for stopping the one-way.
So the offices are usually stationed opposite Starbucks, and by that time the people are already, far down the. If they could be stationed closer to Blackwell House, before people make the turn going into the one-way traffic, that would be a better spot to stop them.
Exactly, right. Absolutely.
Okay. Also, I've heard about cars speeding on the Cornell campus late at night on that road that goes on the Queens side. So there's a lot of kind of like drag racing over, not quite drag racing, but just cars speeding. Yeah.
That's usually in Astoria Park.
And with the Revell scooters. The Revell scooters, there's an issue with
I thought
that.
they were pulling those out of the city.
They're coming back.
Are they coming back?
Yeah.
Great. What a nightmare.
By the way, making 14th Street two-way actually is a good thing for a variety of reasons. I think that's actually improved.
I agree.
The traffic flow, it's calmed it down, believe it or not, and it's actually made that neighborhood better.
Absolutely. I
So,
definitely agree.
me and Keith, thank you all for coming. We will do our best to address your concerns and follow up with you. That's kind of the benefit of the
Great job, guys.
So, we can establish, a relationship like that. Sometimes even when it's not us and we don't even know about it, they could, on our day off, there could be arrests at the park or some other type of enforcement. The problem is right now is nobody fears the consequences. So if that does happen and you don't even know about it, somebody's back on the street the next day. It's like it doesn't. There needs to be more of a long-term solution. That's kind of what we're here for, to try to find that. It's it's a tough time right now, but we definitely will keep a line of contact and follow up on all about your concerns and do our best to address it long term.
So are you gonna come back like this? I thought this was really helpful because I heard a lot of things, including a lot of things off Roosevelt Island, but that are relevant here. Are you guys gonna come back like every 2 or 3 months or something like that?
The object is to do the meeting every quarter.
Okay.
And we try
The
to
problem is,
go back and forth between Queens and Roosevelt Island. So, it caters to one side, you don't want to keep catering to one side. So, but a lot of things are closed, they would go. Like we use the library on 21st and 38th Avenue.
Right.
they're not allowing more than three.
Well, even that, I'm just saying, well, if you could let Rick know, and if we could know more than, 12 hours in advance, then we could probably
This was
get.
our first meeting of the year when they told us to do this kind of.
But Rick, the last one we did was at the college, right? That
Yeah,
last-
you did something at Cornell.
Yeah, I think that was our last meeting, so. We were trying to do it in Queens to make it fair, but,
That's fine too, I'm just saying, if we get some advance, we're
Right.
happy to come over.
Yeah, I don't mind coming, I mean, I'm a 10-minute walk, really.
Yeah.
And
The-
when the
the
weather's
problem is-
nice, it's.
The problem is generally, you announce it so, like, within 24 hours, so it's hard to get the word out.
absolutely.
I think it worked out.
Now, I have a question. For future meetings, are you going to send an email out?
Yeah, did
I
you-
mean, I found this out through like a local Facebook post. I'm an Astoria resident my whole life. You know, I'm born and raised here, and I've lived in like all different sections of Astoria, so I've never wanted to leave here because I just love it so much. I'm here almost 50 years of my life. You know, so are you sending out emails like when
we
the
do
next
a-
meeting happens?
We do, if you left it.
Yes, I
we
did.
do emails, we put it on social media,
Yes.
so it's a few different platforms.
Okay.
As
Okay.
long as you left your email, we'll include you.
Okay, that's great, that's great. Yeah, no, because I definitely, I don't mind coming here, I don't know if anybody, if you can only do Roosevelt Island and this church because of the whole COVID situation, for me personally, it's okay, I don't know about anybody else, but whatever
Sign
we
up for
can
the
do.
REAC advisories, because REAC actually, that's the way they notify the community. You can select which things you want, so they might have a category in there.
Right.
And then you'll get a notice